and it's called The Tale of Drayton and the Catalog, and it goes like this. Once upon a time, at a beautiful strip mall in San Leandro, California, there worked a man named Drayton Drippyburger, and he was a tuxedo salesman. Drayton lived in a studio apartment near the airport with a cat named Sandy. One day, a package from corporate headquarters arrived at the boutique, and Drayton eagerly opened it, only to find a whole catalog bursting with pictures of handsome men in luxurious suits and ties. And he fell fast in love with each and every one of them. And he gave them each a name. And at 7 o'clock sharp 5 nights a week, he'd kiss each one of his strapping bows on the forehead before locking up shop for the night. In the weeks that followed, the customers began to notice Drayton acting a little strange. If they wanted a gray with a champagne trim, well, he'd flip to a picture of a sultry Latino with a 5 o'clock shadow and say, "Let's try you in what Julio is wearing, except without the scarf." I don't know why he insists on wearing that scarf. I told him how much I hate it. If it was top hats and bow ties they wanted, well, he'd flip to the pouty-lipped black man with a perfectly square goatee and say, "Check Carl out." Mostly the customers just smiled nervously. But then they began to complain. Then the big bloated boss man called a meeting with Drayton, and Drayton was fired that day. And he kidnapped the catalog and ran out the door, and he locked himself up in his room. And night after night, he danced with them all, with Rick and with Jimmy, with Tyler and Todd. Poor Sandy the cat went neglected and climbed out the window and never came back. And the bills piled up and the rent went unpaid, and then Drayton was out on his ass. And he drank lots of booze, and he slept in the gutter and cuddled his catalog dear. But one stormy afternoon, in a drunken rage, he swayed on the Golden Gate Bridge. And he shouted and spat, and he laughed and he cried. And a sweep of the arm, and he let those boys fly, and they fluttered on down to the sea. And then Drayton Drippyburger went to a meeting, and he shaved up his face, and he got his life back on track. And he landed a job as a doorman at a fancy hotel where he gets to wear a luxurious tuxedo every day. And once in a while, you can see him pat a little piece of paper folded up in his pocket and say, "It's a little cold today, Julio. Good thing you got your scarf." Thanks for listening, everybody. Tune in next Friday night for another exciting episode of Clyde Always.